All right. Next on our list here, we've got Saquon Barkley at RB11 or Derrick Henry at RB17. Jake, why don't you start us off with this one?
I am terrified for Saquon Barkley. I'm terrified because I'm terrified for this offense. The best thing to happen for this offense, we kind of talked about it up top, might actually be Daniel Jones being sidelined for a little bit. And maybe they just overwork Saquon Barkley. But when you watch him run 10 times and get 10 total yards and have no creativity whatsoever in his usage, it's a big time concern for me. For somebody whose entire deal was, look at how many big plays he can bust off. And if we don't get to see that, Saquon Barkley ceases to be very useful for you for fantasy. Derrick Henry has his own issues, in my opinion. That's why I paired these two up together. And I know there's been a lot of talk about, is he going to hit his cliff finally and kind of be done at his age? We saw a spark this last week of him being somewhat prime Derrick Henry on a few of those plays, enough to make me think I'd rather roll with Henry. So I would go with him for sure.
Mm-hmm. All right, Eric, throwing it over to you.
I'm gonna keep playing nice. I'll go Derrick Henry here as well. Look, like functionally speaking, I've been saying like we want to be a year too early than a year too late on the Derrick Henry cliff for what feels like, I don't know, like 6 years now. So clearly he gives no shits about what I have to say in terms of evaluating his performance. And I think the thing that has most people concerned about him is the emergence of Tajay Spears. We're seeing, almost on a week in and week out basis, he and Derrick Henry kind of alternating who's going to lead the backfield in snaps for the Titans. And while that is true, Derrick Henry is still very clearly the preferred running option, right? While they're about 50-50 in snap share, Derrick Henry is about 75-25 in favor in terms of his rush attempt share, right? So when they're running the ball, it's very clearly him. He's clearly still very big and very fast and very strong. So if they're going to give him the majority of the touches, he'll continue to warm up and eventually just make people look foolish towards the end of the game. So I'll go Derrick Henry here. And I'm also very worried about these kind of lingering, never seem to be fully recovered from injuries that Saquon's had these last couple of years.
Yep, I'm going to keep the threesome going. I'm going to go with Henry as well.
Yes.
I loved what I saw this last week. Considering it's an overseas game, short, had to deal with the whole time zone change and all that. And I know that offense started off very sluggish in the first half, but Derrick Henry was doing some dirty Derrick Henry things there in that second half, and I love to see it. And yeah, I agree with you, Eric. These injuries that Saquon continues to kind of just linger on and have. I mean, we saw not last year, but the year before when he had that high ankle sprain, came back. He just wasn't the same the rest of the season. So I'm kind of expecting the same thing if he's going to try to play through it this year. So that's why I'm picking Henry over Barkley.